Hello YouTubers, this is David. I just wanted to show you a quick product that I purchased for my iPad. It's not the iPad that I want to talk about. There are a lot of great reviews for that, so check on YouTube for iPad reviews. This is just a way to keep your iPad safe, and so it's a case. It's also a way to carry it about, and so it helps you transport it, and it's also a stand. So it does all three functions. I don't know that it does any of the functions exceptionally well, but as a total package, it's a wonderful product. It's called the Standle. Yes, it's a horrible name. The Standle from Griffin. And it looks like this when it's put together. I wanted to show you what it looked like together so that you can see that it's a bit of a pain to take apart and put together. So this is not a stand that you're going to just casually put on and take off and swap out with the stand. So when you put this case on, you're kind of making a commitment for a little bit to keep it on. Otherwise, it's a bit of a pain. I just want to show you around the edges. There, see if we can get this in the light for you a little bit. Toward the bottom on each side, there's a little divot. There's another, and then again at the top. And so these are places where you can ideally dig your fingernails in and pull the case apart. I can tell you, you need some serious fingernails to do it. And it made me look in the box a few times and wonder if there was a tool to do this with. Because it was extremely hard to take off, and you'll probably notice a lot of scratches around these areas where I've actually scratched at it to try to get that off. So, and you'll also notice the back of it, the bottom part, that's a part of the stand for the vertical, and the top part, even though it looks like it has that same sort of thing, these grooves are just decorative. There's nothing there. And then the handle portion of it right here, there are two little tabs. They come out. You set it up horizontally. So I'll show you all of that in just a moment.
Start over again.
So I've taken it apart, and I'll show you the installation of the iPad. Just sets right down into the bottom piece. And this outer ring, which is really kind of a flimsy piece of plastic, as you can see, and it does not join at the bottom at all. So it's really just 3/4 of the iPad and just the corners on the bottom. I'm not entirely sure why that design decision was made, but there it is. So you don't want to break this piece because the whole thing hinges on this piece. So you've got to work this around the edges. And it seems like it's something that should be easy, but it's really not. So you've got to work it all the way around, and you'll notice there's a gap there, so I obviously don't have something pressed in. Okay. And so very carefully all the way around, and make sure that it's on there. Once you've got it, it's very secure. It's not going to fall off. That gets us to this bottom piece, which just kind of dangles when it's not on the case. One of the things I don't like about it is in order for it to close, it really has to hook on to the iPad itself. So a design choice that I don't particularly care for, but it doesn't seem to be doing any damage to the iPad at the moment. Then again, I haven't done a lot of putting it on and taking it off. Also, you'll notice that this piece is not terribly flush. When you close it, it's hard to get it flush. So you've got a little bit of an edge there, and you really kind of have to work it down in order to make that go away. So the fit could be better. The reason, you'll notice even when closed, you have access to your 30-pin cable, your speakers, access there, and it actually sounds good. The speakers actually sound better through this case, if anything, and so it's probably using a bit of the hard surface. You've got an open part to access your volume rocker, and very easy access to your rotation lock, so no problems there. Your home button, easy access, and it's recessed along the edges, so they made some very good design decisions there. It's recessed and kind of slanted outward a little bit, and so you've got plenty of room to get your finger in there. I have not had any problem with the headset, although I don't use a headset with my iPad. I generally connect it via USB, but it looks like there would be no problem with the headset, and also a cutout for the microphone. So let's see how the stand works. So for a vertical orientation, just pop that out and set it up, and it works just fine. You have access to your screen. You can, of course, operate it, and there's no problem with knocking it over or anything like that. It feels very secure. And then you have the orientation that you'll most likely, so I'm just trying to press this back down again because it's a little bit difficult to do. The orientation you'll most likely use it in is the horizontal. Remember, you've got these two tabs in there, a little bit on the flimsy side, so you want to make sure you don't break those off. Pull them out, and that rests against the bit of padding right there. It sits upright. It's much more sturdy than the Apple's case that they make for it. Once again, operation is very good. If you want to watch video, it's at a very good angle for that.
They had the David Sedaris collection, and I bought it, and it was everything.
And for when you just want to move it around the house from one place to another, just flip it over, grab the handle. Once again, very secure. It's not going anywhere. It's built into the case, and you see how hard the case is to get on and off, so you don't have to worry about this coming off. It's not at all loose or anything like that. So again, once you get the case on, it's a wonderful accessory, and frankly, as much as there is not to like about this case, I find that I really, really love it. And so I highly recommend, with a few caveats, the Standle by Griffin, and I suspect that if they make another revision to it, it will be almost perfect.